all these important discrepancies and inconsistencies are adding up. And he has to answer for all of them if he takes a stand. Then there's the timeline. Murdaugh said he went to check on his ailing mother that night, says that's his alibi, but an investigator testified about GPS records that showed he was only at his mother's house for about 20 minutes, but Murdaugh had said he was there for at least double that amount. Discrepancies noted, too, today in testimony from that same friend, Ball, the former law partner of Murdaugh's, who, again, was a defense witness. He said it was Murdaugh's voice at the kennels that night, but also said Murdaugh changed his story a number of times about who he checked first when he arrived at the scene.
In his conversations with you, did he ever change his story about who he checked first at the scene, supposedly?
I've heard it both ways. The first time I remember, he checked Maggie first and then went to Paul. And then I heard him say at one point that it was Paul and then it was Maggie.
The story changed.
Well, yeah, as to which was which.
Look, I didn't think it was a chance he would testify. But as my next guest pointed out, maybe he figures he's spending the rest of his life in prison anyway for his alleged financial crimes. He's got like 99 of them coming. So maybe he wants to just get his side of the story out publicly about the murders, which he insists he did not commit. Let's bring back Jesse Weber, attorney and anchor on the Law and Crime Network. All right, Jesse, good to see you again.
See you.
All right, so we just played a lot of sound from this defense witness who seemed to contradict much of the defense's theory here. If Alex Murdaugh takes the stand, there's going to be a lot of potential contradictions he's going to have to answer for.
It makes you wonder why he would want to do it. The only way I can understand, I mentioned before he might not have anything to lose. There might be one other way to look at it, right? So the prosecution has weaknesses in their case. The only thing, one of the major things that is hurting Alex Murdaugh is his alleged lies, his inconsistencies. If he can come forward and provide a really credible explanation about why he said to investigators what he said, it was I was on drugs, I was traumatic, I didn't know what I was saying, I'm sorry.
You mean, for example, about the kennels, right? Yeah. Saying why he said he wasn't there.
Right, because he can't say it's not his voice. So he needs some explanation. And by the way, this is a guy who was able to trick so many people in his life. He may think he has a way of words. He may be able to convince a jury. By all accounts, he was a good attorney. So does he think that he'd be able to get the jury on his side? I think it's a terrible idea.
Do you think he's going to do it? I mean, you know... Is it a head fake? That's what I wonder.
Look.
Because they could argue, they could say, oh, well, look, we asked the judge to limit the questioning. He wouldn't limit it. Oh, now he's not going to testify. Then they've got an appellate issue, and they can pretend to the public like they actually wanted him to testify.
Well, look, if the judge says you can invoke your fifth, does he want to come off invoking the fifth every time he's asked a financial question? The jury's not supposed to abuse it against him, but they could. I think, look, it's his decision. He can say he'll testify, and then at the last minute say he won't. It feels like he's going to testify. Doesn't it feel like that now?
Yes, but I can't believe it.
I can't believe, because if I had the lawyer's playbook right now, I'd say you don't do it. It's not a self-defense case where you need to know what your state of mind was while you pulled the trigger. The defense has made a good job, maybe not a foolproof job, but a good job at showing problems in the prosecution's case. I think they've provided reasonable doubt. I don't know if it's enough to, get a acquittal across the board, but they don't need him to testify.
Let me play a piece of sound from today. You talk about problems with the prosecution's case. This was a big one that the defense raised today.
I walked back out and asked what I thought was the agent. And
what was the agent?
He said, we've got all we need. And so I walked back over there and looked around, and then looking around around the floor and all that, there was a piece of Paul's skull about the size of a baseball laying there.
Did that upset you?
It did, very much. I mean, it just really infuriated me. And I don't know who I was supposed to be mad at, but it just infuriated me that this young man had been murdered and there were still his remains there.
No doubt this was a sloppy investigation.
And this is not the first that we've heard about it. If Sled was on trial, I think which way we'd go. But look, I think what the jury has to say is, was there such sloppy police work that evidence exonerating Alex Murdaugh was destroyed, or, the evidence, we can't believe what the prosecution's saying? That's the only way they could look at that.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.